Well, hi, it's Native Robin again, and today I start the actual installation of my wood boiler. Now, before you ever dig in your yard, here in Indiana, you dial holy moly, 411, whatever, and they locate all the lines for you. But the thing about living in the country is, if you're like me and you got propane lines, they're copper. And the old ones, they don't put anything in them that will allow you to find them. So you got to find them the old-fashioned way, which I did. So I'm going to give you a little word of warning and show you what to watch out for when you're digging in your yard. I talked to the propane company and they said, well, look for your regulator, and it probably goes out to the tank right over here. Way on the other side is where I'm digging. Of course, I start digging. What do I pull up? But the propane line. Fortunately, I didn't smash it, so I do have to replace a short piece in there where the bucket kind of dented it up. But I'm gonna put the wood boiler. You know, it's just a short line, about 35 feet from the boiler into here. And I was digging up next to the house, thinking, oh, the propane's on the other side of the chimney, I'm good to go. So I started uncovering this thing, and I thought, where in the heck does it go? So I started uncovering. Goes clear over here, clear over by where I had put this pad for the support for the propane heater. Oh my, look how close I was. I almost hit it. So it tees off here and goes up to the house on the other side of the porch to do the water heater. And then this line here goes out and out into the yard somewhere, then floats over to that tank. So I mean, good grief. When you're digging, be careful out there. Now, I showed them setting this into place, but this is a Crown Royal stove. It's a pristine series, which qualifies for a 26% tax credit right now in 2022. It's a 73E, and I'm excited to get it going. So I'm going to go ahead and dig this line, and in the meantime, the propane company is going to come out later today, so I want to get that finished digging up there where I'm working, so that they can do their thing and I can cover it back up. Well, I got the trench dug. See my shadow. So all I gotta do now is get the black pipe in there and start getting the hookups. Okay, well, we've had a good day. We got the propane line repaired that I stretched, and I've got the trench all dug. I was gonna go ahead and put the black pipe in the ground, but I want to show you this. It was so curly. It wanted to curl so badly that I think I'm just gonna put something heavy on each end and let it set for a day out in the sunshine, and it'll make it a lot easier to manage. Okay, so day one is out of the way. I got the trench dug and everything prepared. The next time I tackle this, I'm going to stretch the black pipe in and hook it up to the stove, and then I'm going to work on getting it into the house, and really it should go fairly quick. The pipe that I use has a cord in it where you can pull the electric line through the pipe as an additional cord on the inside, and you don't have to run any conduit underground. Even if you use underground wire, you probably should do a conduit to protect it, but this is going to be great. So it saved me a little bit of money, a little bit of effort, a little bit of time. That's always appreciated. So I'll let this lay out in the sun for a day or so. I got some other things to do, and then I'll pull the electric line through it, and we'll start hooking this thing up. So next time I see you, we're going to hook this dude up. So stay with me. We're getting this job knocked out. Hi, it's Native Robin again. Now in this video, I'm going to show you how I hooked up the Crown Royal boiler I received the other day on the boiler side. Doing the other end's a little more involved, and so I'll make a separate video on that. But I was looking for videos. Didn't seem like there was a lot of really good detailed videos out there. So I'm going to kind of show you how to hook up on the boiler side, and you know, hopefully it's going to go well. We've had nothing but rain and cold since the day I dug the trench for this thing. So I finally got a decent day, and we're going to tackle it. Okay, so this is the inside here. Now in the back you can see it says attach the return line. So this will be the blue line, the colder line coming up, going to there, and I'll have a shut-off going there. And this bottom line here, it says attach the feed line. This is the hot water going to the boiler in the house. So this is going to have the pump and everything on it. And it'll be the red line. Red, hot, blue, cold. That's kind of easy to understand. Now you got to use stainless steel or brass fittings. That's what they call for. So I'm going to go ahead and get this started, and you can kind of see how I'm doing it. A little pro tip here. Pro tip: use the blue Teflon tape for high temp steam pipes and stuff like that. It's a little more robust than the white. And I'm even gonna, another YouTuber says he does Teflon tape and sealant, so I went with the same blue stuff for that too, because hey, you know, I've never done this before, but I've done pipes, so it can't be much difference. But if this is what works, this is what we'll do. Okay, so I'd like to say I planned this, but look, this lever valve, I got a 4-inch nipple on here, and that lever valve is barely making it to screw this on. Now I can open it or close it a little bit, but then it'll hit over here. So I wouldn't go with anything less than a 4-inch nipple to give you room to screw your shutoffs on. That's nowhere in the directions, but I think I got lucky on this one. So let me get cracking on, get this one done, and we'll go to the next one. Okay, so I got it all done up there, and then I'm standing in the trench, so now everything is short. But you can see now, make sure that your shutoffs can shut off, no problem. That's got quite a bit of room there, and they don't impede the door, and that your power cord can connect. Now I got to run my PEX pipe that's in the insulated black flexible stuff up through here, but I'm starting to get a rainstorm, so I'm going to call it quits for today. Tomorrow's supposed to be nice, so we'll be back out here tomorrow to run the pipe through the bottom. Okay, so we'll have the red line, the hot line, coming off the pump, then the blue line going up there. Now the difference between these two are going to be want a good measurement here. 38 inches. So 38 inches from the top of that flange to the 38 to there. And then we need to, of course, I just, as long as this pipe is a 2-foot sewer pipe, 6-inch. It's just on here to protect it from the elements. Or obviously there's not going to be much UV rays hitting it, but you know, even the sunlight will degrade the plastic. So I'm going to put this around it, then run the pipe on up. So now I can see where it's rained and filled my hole in a little bit. And I have to have it deep enough to where the pipe can curl and come up. So I'm going to have to dig this out a little bit. So I'll get it ready, and then when I get back, we'll show you hooking these babies up. And I got to looking at that nozzle is straight in line with that. So that means that I got to go around this thing to get to the blue one in there. So I don't need to go straight from there to there. I need to allow a couple of inches to flex to bow around that, or it ain't gonna go. So, whew, you know, there we go. Measure twice and cut once. I'm gonna allow 2 inches. Hopefully that's not too much, but I'm gonna allow 2 inches for flex. So I'm gonna add 2. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. Shoving that big black tube in there and getting those on there was a job best done by 2 people. But since I'm a 1 people, it took me twice as long. But I got it done. I'm gonna give you a couple of hints, just maybe save you a little bit of the headache. So originally my idea was to slide this 2-foot piece of 6-inch sewer pipe over that to kind of protect it from the elements. And at the end of the day, it is a good idea, but it made this job so much harder. I should have dug out here deeper to allow more angle to go up. Now, I slid this piece here on, and you can see there's not much room in there. So these long-handled crimpers there by buys, they ain't gonna work. You can't get it in there. The handles get in the way. So just just in case type thing, ordered this off eBay. It's a little pocket gizmo. It does 1 1/4 and 5/8 on the other side, which who the heck's ever gonna use 5/8? But anyway, I got right in there and used a screwdriver with a socket end on it, zipped it right down. So this wasn't going to work on that. Now it did work just fine up here. Got enough room to get around. So the other thing was I did count on making this longer to go around everything, but I did make it a hair longer. Really only needs to be about 1 inch longer than what I thought. So I measured from the bottom of here to the bottom of here, and it was 38. If I would have cut it 39, that would have been enough slop to get around there, a little extra room. And what I ended up doing on this, little hint, I undid the pump, put this on, then used the bolts to finish pulling it up. So that ended up being easier than me trying to slide this out of here and up onto there. I brought this down and then lifted the whole thing up, and that was way easier. Went pretty quick then. But I spent a good hour trying to pull that here with that bad angle on here. It just didn't want to go freely. The other thing was I lost the socket down there and 1 bolt. So when you're fooling around down there, be careful. It's going to slide down there. So I got the electric here. I'm going to show you. It's just going to be a straight, you know, white to white, black to black, ground to ground in there. And so we'll be good on that end. So I'll stand back. So that's how it looks. I got a shut off up there. I used brass, red brass, no lead, whatever, on that. 1 1/4 inch PEX down to there. Got my pump. Now over here, I have a future one because I'm going to run a greenhouse over here, a greenhouse in my garage. So, but for now, I can get this pipe dug or filled in some because we got about 4 days of rain coming. So I'm going to go ahead and get started on that. Okay, so that's hooking up a wood boiler to the underground pipe. I'm going to go ahead and just run the other end into the house. In my next video, I'll show you how to hook it up on the inside. That's a little more involved. There's some filters and some things you want to include on that. But until next time, this is Native Robin saying, happy trails. Okay, take 2. Installing the pipe to the boiler. Now I fell into what I call the YouTube trap. And what that is, I watched many videos on YouTube on how to install the pipe coming into the boiler. But so I followed those and did it to the T. But then I got looking at how some people specific to my stove had theirs installed, I was watching videos on how to clean it and how to start it and all that, and I noticed how the piping was running. I'm like, hey, so I called the Crown Royal factory, and he goes, no, you got to crisscross the inlet for the cool water coming back versus the hot water going out. So I'll show you what I did. Well, you can see they're coming out of here, but when I got to here, see, before I had everything hooked up here all in a straight line. And they said, no, you got to come up, and then I got to come underneath this, come over, and go up into this opposite side. So what's crazy is when I hook up the next pump to do my next heat the greenhouse in the shop, I'm going to have to come up that hole, come here, come over, and go into that side, which to me makes no sense at all. But he said that was where the tanks were designed, and it's the factory, so that's how we did it. So I guess that's how I'm going to end this video on installing the pipe on the to your boiler. Now my next video will be how to install it in the house. That's a whole nother story. But until then, this is Native Robin saying, happy trails.